day, grade 12 learners. Welcome to today's tourism lesson. My name is Lydia Mahasha. This lesson is brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Education in collaboration with Saibono Discovery Center. Today's lesson is about travel documentation. Travel documentation, you'll find this topic in section B, question 2 of your final examination paper. And in the prelim paper also, you will find this section. Also, you have to know that during your control test, when you write the skills assessment task, and even your PET, you will come across this topic, the travel documentation. We know that traveling within the borders of a country, I mean your country, you don't need official international formalities to comply with. I mean the travel document when you are traveling within the borders of your country. But when you travel international or abroad to another country from your country, you will need official travel documentation. Then on this topic, you grade 12 learners, you're going to know and learn about the current trends regarding travel documentation. You'll be learning about the customs, what happens by the border gates, by the airports when you arrive. And you'll also learn about the impacts this have on the international inbound and outbound travel. It means those who are coming into the country, the inbound, and those who are going out of the country, the outbound. These are the documents. Let's look at the documents, learners. We have 4 documents that you need when you travel abroad. You need a valid passport. You need a valid visa, health certificate, and international driver's permit. These are the 4 documents that you need when you travel abroad, internationally. One thing that you need to be aware of, learners, is that the temporary passports have been discontinued by the South African country. We no longer have the temporary passports. I want to make you aware of this. Non-compliance to this travel document when you are traveling internationally will lead to you being detained in quarantine in that country, and you can either be refused entry into that country because you will not be having those documents. Other countries will send you back to where you come from, to your country, because you don't comply to their needs. So make sure that you know these 4, as they will be there when you are being assessed on your assessment. First of all, I want us to look at the first document, which is the valid passport. The valid passport. So, the passport, what is it? It is a document that is being issued by the national government for international travel. You get it from the national government. And it certifies the identity and nationality of the holder, so that they know that you come from which country and your nationality. We have different types of passports depending on the reason why you are traveling. Let's look at these different types of passport. Number 1, We have the tourist passport. We have the tourist passport. We usually call it the regular or maxi passport. The tourist passport divided into two. We have the regular one and we have the maxi passport. The second one is official passport. Then the third one is the diplomatic passport. Then the fourth one is the crew member certificate for those who are working in the airport and in our cruise liners. They need to have the crew member certificate. Let's look at the information that we found on a South African passport. You can see there. Unfortunately, it's not clear enough, but here's the information that we found on the passport. With the photo of the passport holder, they need to know who you are. So the photo will show your facial. Then the second one is a type of passport. Like I said, that we have different types of passport. So now you have to know which one are you applying for. Then the issuing country, the one country which you are taking your passport from. Then they will give you a passport number, unique to you only. Nobody else will have this number. It will be only your number, your passport number. Then there will be your names and surname. Also the nationality and the gender. They need to know your gender, the birth date, the birthplace, and also the issue date. The issue date, when it was issued. You'll find it in your passport. It is there. The expiry date, it is also there. You will see that it has expiry date, and this, it assists, it helps you to remember when you will need to renew that passport, because the expiry date will be there. Then the last information will be the issuing authority. So all of this are the information that you found on the passport. Next, learners, I want us to look at application of passport. Where and how can you apply for the passport? First of all, we have to apply in person. Means you need to go to the Department of Home Affairs to apply for your passport. You go in person. You don't send anyone else. You go there because they need you. The passport will be for you. The second one, you can apply online. And when you apply online, you'll be using the eHome Affairs system. You will be using their website. You will be using their website. After applying, you'll be given the date, notification of when you'll be able to get your passport. If you have applied in person, you will go to the Home Affairs, Department of Home Affairs, whereby you have applied to collect it. But if you have used online system, you have used the eHome Affairs system, then you collect from the Home Affairs also offices or to the nearest supported banks. Only those banks that offers a Home Affairs live capture services. because there you'll have to produce biometric authentication to receive your passport. Let's look at the document that you need to apply for this passport. Firstly, you'll have to complete application form. That application form is the DHA 73. This form will be having all the information that we have talked about in the previous slide. You have everything, whether you fill your name, nationality, where you were born, everything, you'll be filling it in this form, the DHA 73. They will also need your identity document. You cannot apply for the passport without your identity document. So first of all, you need to have it. You will need 2 colored ID photos. But now they are using that online system where they're taking your photos. You will also need to take fingerprints. You'll also need to take fingerprints. You know, fingerprints that they will give us history about you, the crimes that you have committed, if you have any. It's a clearance. For you to have fingerprints, it gives you clearance to show that you have no criminal record. Then, lastly, you have to pay. There's an application fee that needs to be paid. You cannot get the passport for free. And now the application fee is 600 rand for the passport. 600 rand for the passport. I hope we understand the passport. Now I want us to go to our second document, travel document, which is the visa. Sorry. What is visa? What is a visa, Elenas? Visa is an entry or stamp. It's an entry or stamp or certificate in a passport. Take a look at the passport here. Just take a look here. You can see we have different stamps there. So that's visa. It indicates that the bearer has been granted authority to enter or re-enter the country concerned. There are countries that need you to have a visa if you have to visit them. So we have to apply for a visa. We have options, visa options. We have the short-term visas, we have the long-term. Let's look at the types of visas. Number 1, we have the tourist visa. We have the tourist visa. The tourist visa is whereby authorization is being given, it's being granted to tourists who wish to visit a country for a period of time. Mostly visitors, those who will be visiting their friends, their family and relatives for study, for work, or for medical. There are so many reasons that a visitor visa can be applied for. The second one, we have the transit visa. Transit visa. The transit visa is issued to tourists en route to other countries. En route to other countries. It means it allows you to enter that country even though you are not planning to visit there. You are not visiting that country. You are just passing through. You are just going there. You are just entering for a connecting flight. Transit visa. It allows you to get to that country, to wait for the connecting flight to your destination. That's why we call it transit visa. And when you're busy waiting there for your flight to come, you can wait for a few hours. It will depend on the time of your flight. But the time that you'll be spending at the airport waiting for your next connecting flight is known as a layover. That's it, a layover. Let's look at the third one. The third type of visa, it is the Schengen visa, the Schengen visa or courtesy visa. The Schengen visa is a visa for European Union countries. A visa for European Union countries. It can either be for single entry visa or multiple entry visas. The Schengen visa. And it can be issued to distinguished visitors by DEFCO. The last one, we have the official visa. Let's look at the official visa. The official visa is being issued to diplomats. You know what a diplomat or consul and representatives of foreign government working in issuing country for government employees. So this is our types of visas that we are having here. Then let's look at the process of visa application also, just like we look at the one for passport. Before you apply for a visa, you have to decide on the destination, because you have to know where exactly you will be visiting. So you must have that place, that country in mind. You have to decide that before you apply. Because you cannot just apply for a visa without knowing where you are going, because they have to issue from the embassy of that particular country that you will be visiting. You have to book travel and accommodation. You have to book travel and accommodation. There must be proof of the flight that you will be using. There must be proof of accommodation. Where are you going to stay? They need to know where are you going to stay while you are on your tour. You apply for the passport if you don't have, because visa, it will be a stamp that will be put on the passport. Then now you can apply for your visa if you have done the above processes. You need also to buy travel insurance. You must have travel insurance. You must be protected. You must be safe where you are going. Because some countries, they don't want you to come and put pressure on their health facilities, on their health services. You need to have the travel insurance. And for visa, you need to appear in person when you're applying for it. You need to apply in person when you are applying for it. Let's look at the requirements. What are the requirements for visa? There are requirements that are needed for you to be able to apply for a visa. The first one, we have visa application form, the one that you're going to complete. It must be there, it must be completed. You'll also need 2 passport photographs, identical ones. You must have 2 passport photographs, identical ones. And your passport, they will need your passport also. Remember, you talk about the passport when you were applying, when we're looking at the requirements. So you need to have your passport. When you talk about a valid passport, this passport must have at least 3 months left before expiry date. They won't allow you to apply for a visa if your passport is left with less than 3 months, because it will expire while you are there and you need to renew it in your country of origin. You need to have an itinerary for your journey, an itinerary for your trip. That's what you need to have. They require that. You have to submit that. They have to say that you will be going there to do 1, 2, 3. So they need that itinerary. I hope you still remember what is an itinerary, a plan, a day-by-day plan. That's what they need to see from you. Because they cannot allow you just to go and roam the streets there without any idea of what you will be doing there. So they need evidence of your itinerary. They need flight details. We have to provide evidence of the flight details. When are you going to depart? They need evidence of that. When are you going to arrive there? They need everything. So in short, it means that you have to book. You have to book your flight before going to apply for a visa. They need proof of accommodation. They need proof of accommodation. Or if you don't have to book accommodation in our different types of accommodations, the one that you've done in grade 10, of course, then you're going to stay with your relatives or friends. They will need invitation letter from these people. People who will be inviting you to visit them, they need a letter from them that you will be staying with them. You won't be using accommodation at our accommodation establishment. So that's a requirement. They will also need a letter from your employer. If it is about business, if it's about work, they will need a letter from the employer. Also, look at this one. They will need proof of civil status. They will need proof of civil status. The marriage certificate, if married. They need to know whether you are married or you are single. So they need that information from you. They will need 3-month bank statement. Now they are looking at your finances. You cannot just plan a trip, plan a journey, go to another country while you don't have funds. They need minimum of 3 months bank statement so that they can see that you are having enough funds in your bank to be used while there. You won't end up loitering the street or even end up committing crime just to get going. Let's look at the next one. They will need proof of travel insurance. I've already explained this, that you need proof of travel insurance. You buy yourself travel insurance for anything that will be happening to you. Lastly, payment. We'll need proof of visa payment. That's what you need to have. These are the requirements for visa application. I hope we are still together. I hope we are still following on the travel documents while traveling abroad. I want to highlight this to you, learners. Please note this. Every country has the right to decide who may or may not enter its territory. You can apply, you can have everything that they need from you. You can comply with everything, but the final decision is with them. They have the right to decide whether they allow you or they don't allow. The fact that you are having a visa, you have been given a visa, it does not, if you are having a valid passport, does not necessarily mean that you will end up having a visa when you apply for the one. It's not a guarantee that you'll get a visa to the country that you want to visit. They need additional authorization. They do a background check on you. Additional authorization. That's what they will do. So the purpose of visa is to ensure proper screening of applicants so that undesirable persons are not permitted to enter their countries. They do proper screening. That's why you have to go through all these things, the requirements, all of it. And even if, remember what I told you earlier on, even if you do have everything that they need, the requirement, entry may be refused, even with a valid, they have the right. So visa doesn't guarantee you entry into a country. That was our second travel document. I want us to look at the third one, which is the international driving permit. I want us to look at the international driving permit. You will see the abbreviation IDP. Please be careful not to confuse this IDP with IDL, the one for international date line. Be careful when you look at it. This one is international driving permit, IDP. So there we are. This one is being issued by Automobile Association, AA. Please know the abbreviation also. What does AA stand for? You need to know that. The IDP can only be issued to individuals with a valid South African driving license. If you don't have a driver's license, a valid one, the one that is not expired, you are not going to be able to apply for the international driving permit. You must have a valid South African driving license. Sorry. So this IDP, it allows the driver to be able to drive in foreign countries. It will allow you to drive while you are on your trip in those international countries. But you must be 18 years older. You must be 18 years older to be able to drive, to be able to have the IDP. That's what you need. Okay. And IDP, it is not a driver's license. You must always be in possession of your driver's license plus the IDP. Because IDP, it allows you to drive in their country. But you have to show, you have to produce your driver's license so that they can be able to see that you are indeed the legal driver. The IDP, it contains your name. You'll have your name as a driver. It will have your photo so that they can see that this person on the photo here is the same as the driver. And it will have your driver's information in several languages. It will have your information in several languages, more than 150 countries, more than 150 languages. That's what. So we talk about that you have to use it together with the driver's license. And you have to carry it always. Always you have to carry your IDP and driver's license for you to be able to comply with the rules of that country. Let's look at the requirement for international driving permit. These are the requirements. What do they need for you to have this? You must have a valid South African driver's license. Like I said there, you must be 18 years and above. You must have valid driver's license, not expired one. Not the one that will be expiring soon, but it must be valid. Also, they'll need your identity document and one passport size photograph. Now we need to have one passport size photograph. These are the documents that you need when you travel from your country to another, especially the international one. The fourth one, which is the last travel document, it is the health certificate. The health certificate. From the word health, you have to know that this one has to do with our health, the way we are, our health. So this is a document indicating that the bearer has been vaccinated against contagious or communicable diseases. These diseases are the ones that can spread from one person to another. And you must be vaccinated before you leave your country. Then you will be given the certificate. We know that the increased movement of people, when people are moving from one place to another, one country to another, we know that it adds to increased risk of the spread of these diseases. So by requiring that travelers produce health certificate is to minimize the risk of spreading these contagious diseases. Let us look at the areas where you can apply or you can obtain your health certificate. We have different places. The first one, we have the travel clinics. You can get your health certificate from the travel clinic. You can get it from your doctor. Remember, we have our own personal doctors. You can go there and they know what to do. You'll get your health certificate clearance for you to travel to other countries. You can go to hospitals also. You can go to hospitals. And lastly, you can go to airports clinics. They do offer these services. They have services whereby they offer health certificates. So you can go there and you will get sorted out on this one. The health certificate can be issued for different diseases. The most one is for yellow fever and cholera. There are countries where they will need you to produce the yellow fever and cholera certificate to see that you are not coming to their country to spread the diseases. Remember, learners, recently, when we were supposed to travel, it was worldwide during the COVID. Individuals or the tourists they were supposed to get tested and get a certificate for COVID-19 because remember, it was spreading so fast. So they were trying by all means to make sure that people don't spread it to other countries. That's why when you were leaving your country to another country, it was a must. It was compulsory for the travelers to have the COVID-19 health certificate. It is not in the textbooks. We don't have information about COVID in the textbooks. It is under health. You need to know those things. Your teachers will assist you. But I know you know this information. You have been there. So it was compulsory for people to get COVID-19 health certificate. There is also a fee that you have to pay for you to get this health certificate. It will differ from place to place, but you have to pay a fee on it. For now, I want to see if you have been following what we have been doing until now. I'm going to give you activity to do. Take out your pens, take out your books or your sheets, wherever you'll be writing this. I want you to do this activity for 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Then I want you to be done. Before we start with the timer, will be a timer. I want you to know that the activity is about remembering what we have just talked about. And the activity is a multiple choice type of a question. So I'm going to give you 10 questions. From those 10 questions, I want you to spend 5 minutes. Remember, time is precious. Always make sure that you respect time, you put time, so that you'll be able to complete your question paper when you are writing. For now, I'm going to give you a tip when you do this. When you do the multiplication, multiple choice, a type of a question, now, the easy way is to use the elimination rule. You start first by eliminating anything that you see that this one, it has nothing to do with the question. So that is the rule of elimination. You eliminate anything. Then the ones that will be remaining, are the ones whereby you have to look at them and decide and recall the information. Okay? We'll be starting now with our activity. Look at the time. I'm going to give you only 5 minutes. That is our activity. I will be scrolling each page after a minute. So now, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, learners. It seems as if I gave you too much time on these 2 questions. So without wasting any time, I want us to go to the next slide. And when you look at the next slide, we have 3 questions. So please spend a minute on this. Strictly a minute. Then the next one, you can see that we have 4 questions. Then you spend 2 minutes on it. Then the last one will be 1 minute. So you have 3 minutes, 5 minutes. So from here, I'm going to allocate you the 5 minutes again. Okay, learners, your 2 minutes is over. Now we are back. Please use your 3 minutes now. This is 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, we'll go to your 1 minute and we'll be done. Then we'll see what you remember or what you don't remember. Your 2 minutes start now. Your 3 minutes. Yes, 3 minutes. Start now. Okay, learners, I'm sure you are done. I've given you enough time to go through this question. Now to hit your 1 minute to this one. Exactly 1 minute, nothing more. After 1 minute, we shift in the slide. Okay, go. Okay, grade 12 learners, we are back. I hope you are done. I hope you are done with what we have been doing. Now you understand what we have done on the travel document. I want us to go through them. Just for 5 minutes also. Let's work on that. The first one, you're supposed to choose the correct answer, and I told you to use the law of elimination, whereby you eliminate the ones that are not there. Then question 1.1.1, it says the type of visa applied for when traveling to European Union countries. Number A, we have the Scottish. Number B, we have American. C, Schengen, and Brazilian. We've never heard about Scottish, American, Brazilian. And we've learned about Schengen. So the answer there is C, which is our Schengen visa. 1.1.2, an IDP is required to do what? We have A, participate in local cultural activities. B, fly a light aircraft in a foreign country. C, hire a vehicle at certain foreign destination. D, participate in white water rafting activities. The correct answer there is C. Remember the IDP? We said it gives you the right to hire a car in a certain foreign destination. 1.1.3, a health certificate for travel-related diseases, SARS, Ebola, yellow fever, diarrhea. It's number C. Remember I told you that some countries require you to have yellow fever health certificate. So it's number C. 1.1.4, this visa grants a tourist permission to stop over in a country for a short while before continuing to his or her destination. Number A, transit visa. B, Schengen visa. C, travel documentation. D, diplomatic visa. We know it's a transit visa. You stop over in a country for a short while you are waiting for your connecting flight. That's what we talked about. Then 1.1.5, a South African applying for this travel document need to submit a South African identity document, a completed application form, and pay a fee. We have A, passport, B, health certificate, C, international driver's permit, and D is a visa. So here is a passport. You need this for you to get a passport, which is number A. 1.1.6, the following travel document is issued by the consulate or the embassy of a destination country. We've done this, learners. I'm sure you still remember that. Number A is identity document. Number B is code of conduct. C, visa. D, MasterCard. It's C, it's visa. The document that is being issued by the consulate or embassy of a destination country that you will be visiting. Number 1.1.7, this passport is issued by the Department of Home Affairs to state employees who will travel internationally for government businesses. We have A, official, we have B, temporary, we have C, diplomatic, we have D, the MEC, tourists. We talk about this. Then here, it is A, official. Remember, we said that for the government employees. Number 1.18, a visa is issued by the following institution. A visa is issued by the following institutions: the Department of Home Affairs, the embassy, the airport, or the bank. So here, number B is the correct one. The visa is being issued by the embassy. Remember, I said that the embassy of the country which you are intending to visit. That's it. Then 1.1.9, tourists stopping over in a country on their way to other countries will require a what? Number A, official visa, a courtesy visa, a transit visa, or a visitor visa. This was just to test if you remember what you wrote before. So this one, it is C, transit visa. Remember, I said that you are stopping over there in that country on your way to other countries. So you will need a C, which is transit visa. The last question. This travel document is not compulsory, but is recommended if you would like to hire a vehicle during an overseas trip. We have A, valid passport. We have a valid visa. C, a valid international driver's permit. D, a valid South African identity document. So the correct answer here is C, a valid international driver's permit. Remember, I said that we need it so that we'll be able to hire vehicles there, to drive yourself there in the country that you wish to visit. So, grade 12 learners, we are done with the document. There were 4 documents. We went through each and every one of them. So now I want us to go to the next subtopic, which is customs. We go to the customs. This is the authority responsible for the collection and safekeeping of customs duties in South Africa. The customs. We know that here, baggage of all incoming travelers must be cleared by customs before they can enter South Africa. They go through searches whereby everything must be cleared, that they don't bring anything dangerous or anything illegal in our country. So they have to go through the customs. Each person entering must declare the goods in their possession. Whatever you have on you must be declared. You cannot just bring anything to the country. So you go through the customs to declare what you are bringing into the country. We have immigration control, which is offered by the Department of Home Affairs here. So, grade 12 learners, the customs control is managed by SARS, the South African Reserve. So all incoming travelers, including the captains, the crew members of the airlines, they have to have their baggage cleared. Everyone must have their baggage cleared. And when you talk about the custom duties, you talk about the taxes. So duty must be payable, tax must be paid. Duty must be payable for all the goods that are entering South Africa. So SARS is collecting taxes, duty. This is the first stop for travelers when they arrive to South Africa. I want us to look at the concept. Let's look at the concept. We have concept that we need to know as a grade 12 learner. The first one is duty-free goods. The duty-free goods from the word duty-free. We can understand that it's tax-free. So these are the goods that the international travelers can purchase in a duty-free zone at the airport. Look at our picture there. We have the duty-free shopping. Everything there is duty-free. They don't pay tax there. They don't have to pay VAT on the goods. They don't have to pay value-added tax. It is duty-free. Please remember that. Remember that? So the duty-free goods that they can buy here, they include things like the cosmetics, the fragrances, jewelry, chocolate, liquor, and cigarettes. Those are the few that they can buy, they can purchase there. Then secondly, I want us to look at prohibited goods from the word prohibited. So these are goods that by law may not be brought into the country. They are prohibited. It's a no. They are prohibited goods. They are not allowed to enter the country. Look at the picture there. We have the habit-forming drugs, we have narcotics, we have the drugs, we have the weapons, we have poison, we have counterfeit goods, we have goods that have been made in prison. All of this, they're not supposed to be brought into the country. They are prohibited. I hope you understand what prohibited goods are. They are not supposed. Look at the picture. It's a no. The military weapons, no, you cannot. Explosives, no, you cannot. For the safety of the country, these prohibited goods are not supposed to be brought into the country. There, we are having examples. Please go through them. Then, I want you to look at restricted goods. These are goods that are allowed to enter or exit South Africa only in minimum certain circumstances or conditions. So these ones are being controlled. They are being regulated. You can, but to a certain limit, certain conditions. So let's look at them. We have the firearm, and most of this, it means they have permits. As a firearm owner, you must have a permit for that. So you'll be allowed when you produce your ownership certificate. We have the restricted goods. Here they are. The currency. You are limited as how much you must bring to the country. You cannot bring a lot of foreign currency, you cannot bring a lot of money. So you cannot bring endangered friends and animals to the country. And also their produce. You are not allowed. Certain medicines also are not allowed unless if you are having prescription for them. Then you will be allowed to bring them to the country. I want us to look at this one, the green channel. Let's look at the picture. It's green. Green channel. It's written there, nothing to declare. There's nothing to declare. Travelers who goes through this channel, they have nothing to declare. Everything that they are bringing into the country is within duty-free allowance. They are not having any restricted or prohibited goods with them. So this is what you call the green channel. The travelers here, they have correct, allowed limitations. And one thing about this channel, the travelers here, they spend little time on this channel when they are going through it. Because they don't have anything to declare. They just pass. But when you look at the red channel, there will be a queue, because everything must be done properly, must be set accordingly. So to declare, we declare in the red channel. We talk about them. We talk about that here. It's whereby the travelers are bringing the things that are more than what is allowed, or the ones that have been restricted. And on this one, they need to produce the permits. They must produce the permits for this. So we have looked at to declare. You can see that when you arrive at the airport, look at the picture. When you look at the picture there, you can see that we have two channels. We have the red one here. It is written customs, goods to declare, what we have talked about. Then you go far away that side, you can see that it's the green channel. Sorry, and it's written there, nothing to declare. Look at the number of people. You can see the majority is going on the side whereby they have nothing to declare. Because on the red channel, whereby they have to declare, they have to produce permits for everything that they have with them. Look at the concept here. When we compare the two, you can see that we have the duty-free allowances. Great travelers, I want you to take care of this, because you'll find this on your final exam, on your prelims, on your tests. You'll get these questions whereby you need to know the amount of duty-free allowances. You are allowed to bring sporting and recreational equipment. Look at this one. You are allowed to bring up to 2 liters of wine. You are allowed, as a traveler, you are allowed to bring up to 2 liters of wine, but not for minors. You are also allowed to do what? To bring up to 1 liter of spirits. Travelers are also allowed to bring up to 1 liter of spirits. And those who are smoking, they are allowed to bring up to 200 cigarettes. 200 cigarettes. That's what they are allowed to bring to the country. And 20 cigars. Nothing more. You can bring less, but not more than 20 cigars. And when you look at tobacco, they have to bring only 250 grams of tobacco. When it comes to the perfumes, they must bring the 50 ml perfume and 250 ml of eau de toilette. And the goods that they can bring up to 3,000 worth of new or used. Then when you look at prohibited, you can see that it's what we have talked about, everything there, the plants and their products. You cannot take live animals from here, South Africa, to another country. No, we are not allowed. We cannot take fake bank notes, counterfeit. We are not supposed to. And the most important one here, the bank notes, we have to bring more than 5,000. I want us to look at travel allowance. The concept here is travel allowance. By travel allowance, we talk about the amount of money that the traveler can exchange for foreign currency in a year. Travel allowance. The amount of money that the traveler can exchange for foreign currency in a year. This is being determined or set by the South African Reserve Bank. The South African Reserve Bank determines this. So you can see here that a single discretionary allowance within a limit of 1 million per calendar year to all South African residents older than 18 years. And under 18, a travel allowance of not exceeding 200,000 per year. But now, the travel allowance that has been set for South Africa is 5,000 rand. 5,000 rand. So, grade 12, I hope we are still together. We have an activity that we need to do. I'm looking at the activity here. I want us to do the activity on the customs. Remember, you did the activity on the travel documentations. So now I want you to do the one on the custom. For now, we are going to look, or we're going to check if you remember everything that has been done today. Remember, we started with the concepts. So you must be able to recall all the concepts that we have talked about now. We have the concept, and you must be able to identify the prohibited or restricted or duty-free goods. Those are the ones that you need to identify. So unlike the first one, on this activity, I will be with you every step of the way. I'm going to give you the 2021 November grade 12 paper. This is the final question paper for 2021. So what I want you to do, I want you to go through the pictures, the infographic, but before we go to the paper, I want you to give you just 5 minutes break. I want you just to stand up, take a walk. I want you to go and have a glass of water. Okay? Let's do that. Let's have a glass of water before we do the activity. Okay? Okay, grade 12 learners, we are back. I'm sure you are refreshed. You had a glass of water. For this one, I will go through it with you. We have 10 minutes to complete this, so let's start. We will start with the infographic that we see here. Let's look here, let's read together. Like I said, we are using the November 2021 question paper. It's important for you to use previous question papers. Refer to the information and pictures below and answer the questions that follow. Assist me in a problem-free arrival. Jerome is returning to South Africa from Korea. He will have to pass through customs where his luggage will be inspected. He does not want his goods purchased at the duty-free shop to be seized, taken away, or face prosecution, which is legal action. You can see there, that's the row. Then number A, we have the dynamite. Dynamite, you know what is dynamite? And then number B, we have number 5, Chanel Paris, we have the perfumes. Number C, we have cigarette. Number D, we have Robertson wine, we have wine. Number E, we have 5 pairs of gold bangles. Number F, we have tobacco. So I'm sure we have all gone through this together. Then I want us to go to the questions. You answer each question as fast as you can. Remember time management. Our question paper for tourism is too long and we have to manage time. Don't waste time. You have to manage time. Look at the question. 2.2.1. Choose your duty-free items from the options given above that Jerome will be permitted to bring into South Africa. I will repeat this again. Choose 4. I'm sure you're making a note. 4 duty-free items. That's what you're noting down. From the option given above that Jerome will be permitted to bring into South Africa. I will go back to the pictures again so that you choose. You are having a picture set. Kindly choose. I'm giving you 1 minute to go through this. Okay, Lena, I'm sure you have selected what you're supposed to do. Then back to the question. Let's go to question 2.2.2. It says give the approved allowances, which are the quantities, for any 2 of the permitted items chosen in question 2.2.1. So you give the approved allowances, which are the quantities for any 2 of the permitted items you have chosen in question 2.2.1. I will be with you through this. So let's go back to our information so that you can choose the quantities, so that you can choose the quantities. Sorry about that. There we go. Kindly choose the quantities. I'm giving you half a minute to do that. I'm looking at the time. Okay, we are done because we are choosing the ones that we will have selected in 2.2.1. Let's go to the third question. The third question says the items selected in question 2.21 again fall within the duty-free allowances. Name the channel Jerome must pass through after collecting his luggage. We don't need to go back there. Pictures. I'm sure you are done. Okay. Question 2.2.4. A. Explain the term prohibited goods. Explain the term prohibited goods. 30 seconds. When you explain, you include everything. You look at the mark allocation. It's 2 marks. So you explain the term prohibited goods for 2 marks. Okay, time up. Number B, identify the prohibited item in the pictures above for 2 marks. You identify the prohibited items in the pictures above for 2 marks. So we'll go back to the pictures whereby you'll have to select, identify them. Again, I'm giving you just 15 seconds because we have gone through this. We've gone through this. 15 seconds will be enough. Okay, there we are. 15 seconds is gone. Everything has been answered. We have answered everything. Let's try to do our corrections. Let's see what you managed to remember from what you've learned today. We have few minutes. The first one, it said, choose 4 duty-free items from the options given above that Jerome will be permitted to bring into South Africa for 4 months. You write only the letters. Please follow the instructions. Follow the instructions. So there, it will be B, which is the perfumes. It will be C, which is cigarette. It will be D, which is the wine. And F, which is tobacco. Check if you got them right. Then we go to 2.2.2. It said give the approved allowances, the quantities for any 2 of the permitted items chosen in question 2.2.1 for 4 marks. So you give the approved allowances and quantities. So you chose B. You chose B. And they're not supposed to bring anything more than 50 mils of perfume. Not more than 250 mils of eau de toilette. We'll talk about that. Then C, they're not supposed to bring more than 200 cigarettes. And D, they're not supposed to bring more than 2 liters of wine per person. And 1 liter of what? Of spirits. We talk about that. Then number last, which is F, they're not supposed to bring more than 250 grams of tobacco per person. Tobacco per person. Then we have question 2.2.3. The items selected in question 2.2.1 fall within the duty-free allowance. Name the channel Jerome must pass through after collecting his luggage. It's a crane channel, guys. Crane, you know, the robot crane just allows you to pass. It's crane. Then we have 2.2.4, number 8. Explain the term prohibited goods. So here, it refers to goods that travelers are not allowed by law to bring into the country. We talked about this. I hope you got them right. These are the illegal goods that are not allowed to enter the country. We talked about it. Number B, it says identify the prohibited item. That's one thing, item in the picture above. The picture that we've been using. So picture there is picture A. Picture A, you have seen that, is dynamite. What are dynamites? The dynamites are the explosives. Imagine what will happen if tourists bring them to the country. So that's A, which is dynamite. Great travelers, I hope you learned the travel documents today. And you know the customs, the procedures that the inbound and outbound tourists go through when they get to the borders of South Africa. We end our lesson here. Please go through your notes. I hope you have taken the notes so that you'll be able to go through them. And if you have any questions, I hope that you ask your teachers for clarity on the questions that we'll be having. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you so much for being with us today. Remember, the lesson was brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Education in collaboration with Scibono Discovery Center.